Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kem. So today I'm going to be doing a reading on the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus on November 19th. What's really interesting about this, I always feel like I'm like an alien because I can never say what I want to say. I'm always trying to grasp at my words here, and just saying that full moon lunar eclipse like put my head through like, whoa, like I can't even believe I accomplished that, to be honest. Those are the types of things that just make me feel like I'm not, like, it's kind of like math, I just don't get it, you know what I mean? Anyway, what's really interesting is the energy, right, that's going on here. I think that when I was looking at the frequency, Ishtar's line gate came up, and it's really interesting because that kind of just passed, I mean, not too long ago, and I really think that that was like the beginning of them kind of opening the door. Like, I keep feeling like they were opening the door, right? Like that transition that happened that day was very important because it kind of like opened the door for us into something new, right? And I think that when they opened the door, it like brought a burst of energy, right, to all of us. And I feel like for a lot of us, it might have kind of taken us for, you know, it's like we didn't really know how to handle that energy. It was like such a powerful energy. Again, it, like the energy could still be here, but I feel like this is kind of the continuation of that, right? It's like the continuation of that very big light energy, right? And what I really like about Ishtar's line gate is that Ishtar, first it's like in Leo season, right? And now we have this full moon in Taurus and it's in Scorpio season, right? And these are all fixed signs. And I really feel like this transition has to do with this fixed energy that we're talking about, right? It's kind of like the energy of the earth, the frequency of the earth. They keep saying that the earth is getting at a much, like every year, every year they check the frequency of the earth, and the frequency of the earth is, you know, getting higher and higher and higher. And for every star seed that came before us, you know, it was much tougher because the earth was at such a low frequency. But now the earth is at such a high frequency that, you know, doing what you love doesn't seem like the craziest idea, right? Being with who you love doesn't seem like the most crazy thing. Whereas maybe in the past, you know, those things were kind of rare to see. Now it's like going to be the norm. So I feel like this transition of the norm kind of changing on everyone, again, I think it's a transition, which is a change, which I think, again, can make us feel a little bit, for these fixed signs especially. But I feel like for everyone in general, I mean, I think everyone has some fixed, you know, energy that we have to kind of work through. And I feel like this was kind of the beginning with Ishtar's line gate. It was like, you know, the 8-8 portal, it was a day kind of just to open the door. And that energy ever since has, I feel like, been getting higher and higher and higher. And as like this was approaching, and I was just meditating on the energy of like, what is this Taurus full moon lunar eclipse? What is this gonna bring to us? I just felt really excited, and like I had no idea, like I had no exact idea like of what exactly it was going to be, you know, but it didn't really matter. It just made me feel really happy to meditate on the energy. So I feel like we're all kind of working in this transition time, right, in this change of going towards things that we kind of love, right, and not towards what everyone kind of expects from us, but more like closer to our own identity of like who it is that we actually are, and what is it that we actually came to achieve here. And it's like a beautiful release, it's like a beautiful freedom. And I think this portal in August really helped. It's like changing this fixed energy of the earth into something different, where it's more of a flow, right? It's like we're all taught to let go, but I feel like the frequency of the earth is so like built up, where now I feel like even the frequency of like the earth itself is changing, and with that comes a lot of like, it's like we're changing and the earth's frequency is changing, and together we're making all these beautiful changes, and it's just going to allow for like this really beautiful flow, right? And let's read what transition is. It's number 43.7. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives, so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow a transition to occur with ease and grace. I think for most of us who are watching this, it's going to be a lot more effortless as we continue going, right? So maybe think about August and the energy you were in August. And I think now the energy that you're in will be even better. It will be even lighter. It will be even more like going with the flow, because I think that we're all, again, it's like the door was opened on this day, on the 8/8. And maybe at that time specifically, we were not really adjusting to it the same way we would be adjusting to it now. I think we're kind of getting swept up in the energy, and it's a really beautiful thing to be like in the energy and not opposing it, which I feel like that's kind of the deal, especially with all this fixed energy versus, going with the flow, fixed versus going with the flow. It's like whoever's left in this fixed energy gets stuck over here, I feel, and whoever kind of fights to be in this transition and is fighting to go with the flow. Again, it's not even a fight. It should feel kind of effortless, but I feel like for a lot of us, it's not really effortless, right? I feel like there are times that things were like taken away from us, right? And like our whole life kind of like flipped upside down, right? Especially with Ishtar, she speaks about like surrendering, and she says like, my children are the ones who have like lost a part of themselves, lost their identity, lost something like very valuable to them. And I feel like everyone can kind of understand a time when they were at a loss, and instead of holding on to like the control, it was more about like going with the flow. And I think that the reason for all those losses is preparing us for this transition, right? It's like, especially for me, I feel like there was a point in time when I like lost so many things. I mean, I felt like it was a loss, right? Because things were kind of being negated. But now I see that they were actually blessings. But at the time, I just was like, oh my God, this is like a huge loss for me. Oh my God, this is another loss, another L, right? It's like, how many L's can I have today? And it's just actually, no, it's like, things are being transformed for me. Like there's transition in my life because maybe I was not on the right path. You know what I mean? Maybe I was, fighting the energy, and instead of fighting like my nature and fighting like who it was that I was, like that I am, it's kind of just saying like to go with the flow, right? To start this new beginning, going with the flow. And I really like the fact that Ishtar, they say that her reincarnation, like she produced Aphrodite, like they are one and the same, Ishtar and Aphrodite. And then that brings me to this romantic love, right? And I think that everybody, we're in Divine Feminine season, and I feel like everyone kind of, a lot of people that are like in tarot, they're looking for some sort of romantic love, right? Let's be real about it. Like, let's just say what it is. That's not the ultimate goal. I know like everybody has work to do here. Everybody has, the things that we're all working on personally. But I do think that there is this romantic aspect, right? And even when I say romantic love, it kind of reminds me of it's like these, I put these two together because they're actually both number 39, which I found like really interesting, because a blessing of support, this kind of reminds me of the night of, any night, to be honest. It just reminds me of the night. It kind of reminds me of the Night of Wands, to be real, but that's not like my favorite night. But I think that it's really interesting that these two came together with the 39 and the 39. So I think like the romantic love, even though I think most of us are going to obviously think romantic like love, like, yeah, I think there is also a lot of support. There's also a lot of divine support for us at this time. And if you haven't been connecting, I feel like if you're watching this, then you have been connecting with a lot of like spirit guides and a lot of ancestors, and doing that work and trying to figure out like, again, we're all doing this other work on the side. We're all like looking for these transitions. I understand, like, we're not going to get like heavy into that, but I just feel like this Taurus full moon lunar eclipse is really like preparing us for something good. It's preparing us for something new. And to prepare for something new, you have to be new. Like, you have to be changed, right? Like, you cannot get, like, this will not come to you, basically. It will just kind of be over here. But if you're not making those changes for yourself, if you're stuck over here fighting against the energy, then you're not going to really be able to experience the new, because it's as within, so without. So I feel like, again, this frequency of love that is coming, it also is support, right? It's not just romantic love, it's support. It's to remember that we always have this like support from the divine, from the universe. They're always supporting us. And even when things seem to be taken away from us, right? It's just so that we can transition into a better, time, into a better frequency, into something better. Like even here with the 7 and the 7, right? It's like, don't fight the transition, right? Like even if now you're saying, well, you know, at 8-8 I was in a really bad place and now I feel like I'm in a worse place. Continue to like work through that energy, because it's important, right? Because it will lead you to a better day. It will lead you to a blessing at the end. Again, like surrender. The whole point of this is to surrender and to allow for like the energy to flow. Even if you feel like you're going through a lot of L's and a lot of losses and you're like, yeah, like this doesn't feel comfortable to me. It's not meant to feel comfortable. I think it's meant to feel uncomfortable. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we're going all towards this unknown path. Like I don't think the world has ever been again in this frequency that it's been, and it's new for everybody. You know what I mean? It's not just new for us, it's new for the earth. And with that is going to bring a lot of changes, right? It's like, again, we're going to go towards things that we love. You know what I mean? Going towards things that you love is going to be like the new norm, and having the support that you need is going to be like more effortless. Do you know what I'm saying? And having these new beginnings is going to be easier and easier to see it coming down the road, or it's going to be easier to grab onto, basically, like when this new beginning comes, because we're going to be at such a different frequency that we're going to be able to see it, right? And I feel like this is kind of reminding me of that fixed energy, right? That like rigidity. And maybe it's been hardest on the, you know, divine masculine. Maybe it's been hardest on that part of ourselves. And I could see why that, you know, that's a thing. But it's honestly just kind of also reminding me of like Venusian energy, you know? And I think this Venusian energy is, I think it's again, it's this love, it's this Aphrodite, it's this Ishtar, it's this love and support. It's like the way that we're moving towards more love. And I think we're going to be able to see that in our reality a lot more than we did in the past, right? Where it was like you were reaching out your hand in the past and no one was kind of there, right? I feel like this is like kind of that past energy, right? Where, you know, that you reached out and no one was kind of there in the past, and the world was just like in a much darker place. I think now, again, you can see things from all perspectives. I personally feel like the earth right now is at a higher frequency than it was in the past, but you could like argue against that. I wouldn't, though, because I feel like you have to let go and go with the changes. Like even though it might be uncomfortable, even though it might feel quick, again, it's like better to just go with the flow than to negate everything. Do you know what I'm saying? And to fight against everything. It's like kind of just the idea to let go right now, because the more you let go, the easier this transition in your life is going to be. It's going to pull you towards more love, basically. Doing things that you love, being around people that like care about you, like a soul tribe, like an actual family, like an actual home. Like the idea of that just seems so far sometimes for me, but I think that it's actually just much closer, and I think that's why I feel like much happier when I meditate on this energy. I think when I meditated on Ishtar's Lion Gate, there's just a lot of uncertainty, and now like that uncertainty doesn't feel scary. That uncertainty actually feels like exciting. You know what I mean? And I think it's because I've realized like all the support that I have, and I think that's what I want you guys to realize, is like all the support that we really do have in like moving forward. And again, it's like we don't really know what's gonna happen, but we're all moving towards like this better vibe, this higher vibe, this new beginning. And yes, the transition was like shitty at times, to be honest, but I think that like we're all moving forward in such a positive way that like I'm not really scared anymore about that uncertainty, to be honest. I just feel really excited about it, and I hope that you guys do too. So yeah, guys, this is my little energy read on this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. So yeah, guys, I love you so much. I hope this reading resonates, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.